tries to get underneath the win. And the win, and Smith collide. They crash in front of the entire field. Now Smith hits the 32 of Sloan and knocks him out of the way. And Smith may install his car in the middle of the racetrack. Here come the leaders towards Smith's car. Smith limps his machine off the 39 of Fox, and watch out, trouble. Lewis's car has broken something. First turn is the skating rink. Here come the leaders. Smith runs over that stuff. Everybody else gets through. Fox spins on the water and is hit by the number 65 of Higgins. Paul Kent bumps over bunker tires and keeps on going. Lewis is still out there. National champion. Watch out for the Mike Hughes, number 35, who just barely smashes into the number 12 of Bobby Fry. Somehow, now Fry is hit by the number 79 car and put into the wall. The older winner is the victim of a double-barreled slam attack, and he's put hard into the wall twice through all of this. Over Bobby Fry. Fry's car rebounded from that crossover crash, and then he was speared by Dave Cumbie in the number 79. Fry gets out of the car, shaken. That's the slope of the turn. To a certain degree, that red flag may have helped Dwayne Lee. Dwayne Lee is making some interesting gestures as he drives in the general vicinity of Preston Maxwell, and is eyeing Maxwell unusually warily for a world champion. And yeah, Dwayne and Preston Maxwell have a few things to talk about after this race. Side of Sizemore as they race for the 4th position. Third and 4th turns of their 30th lap. We have a race that is developing for 2nd place between the 7 of Sutton and the 1 of Dolphin. Ahead of them, you've got the number 2 of Charlie Reed with 3 laps left to go. Maxwell either has a flat tire or something that is broken on his car. A shot. to position, gets slammed by the 42 car, who almost crashes into Kil-Kare. Almost took out half the field. Did Thacker, who falls down back to the number 5 position. Large tries to move inside of Morris with 2 laps left to go. Van Valkenburg, he hit the wall with a massive crash in turn number 1. He was trying to pass. Morris may have missed the mark and smashes the front end of his car, destroying number 54. Inside of Morris with 2 laps left to go. Van Valkenburg, he hit the wall with a massive crash in turn number 1. He was trying to pass. Morris may have missed the mark and smashes the front end of his car, destroying number 54. Quickly, a frustrated Van Valkenburg gets out of the car, looks at the place where he ended his race up, finds that the Indianapolis, who clearly was the fastest driver on the track at that point, finds that the Indianapolis Speedrome rules move for no one. It on Van Valkenburg for tonight.
What is going wild?
Van Valkenburg is in good shape. Cars for stock heat race number 2 to the pit gate. Cars for stock heat race number 2, stock heat race number 2 to the pit gate. The number 28 of Rice takes a hit from the 32 of Sloan, slamming him down to the path of Leeds. Defines those slower cars on the lower line as they go to the right flag. Connor gets a tap from the 21 car. The 43 hits him as he bounces off the wall, and Kil-Kare steals the lead after the 11 car of Connor was Turner bumps and bangs. Box Martin coming out of the 4th turn, comes down on top of Fry, going into number 1. Somehow all 3 cars keep on going, but Turner has lost 2 lanes to Martin. He might have needed a couple of laps to set up that outside pass. Now he'll have to run hard on Martin, wheel to wheel. Looks inside, going into number 1 of lap number 9, and cannot make the pass. The leaders come to the line. Oh, it is a half-length victory for 2nd place by Martin over Turner. And number 85 of Fegley. Lewis goes wide. Fegley comes down to the inside and almost steals the race, but he's hit by McFadden and wrecked out. Lewis wins. The 2nd and 3rd place cars are tied together. They haven't crossed the line yet. There's McFadden going around, finishing in 2nd place, and by inches 3rd place goes to the number 85 car. 29, bringing the field out of the 4th turn. They collide and crash each other out, taking the Messmore car with them and blocking 2 other machines before they get to the 4th turn exit and start the race. The 13 of DeBay and the 49 of Fegley take each other out. Turner hits Steele, knocks him out of the way, and continues to run in the lead. Now Cuddy rams into Turner, knocks him sideways and hits him and knocks and wrecks Turner. But Cuddy does not want to take the lead that way, or has he simply broken the car? Cuddy now gets back underway and goes at full power. No, Cuddy's car is hurt. Cuddy may have damaged his machine as he crawls around the track with only a few laps left to go. 3 to go. Can Cuddy continue to go around? Now he gets outside to Schaefer. In turn, they're both trying to go to the outside as the Bussey car gets clipped. Oh, 2 cars ramming each other. Watch out. Bussey and the 15 car nail each other, and the 15 car got nailed into the infield. That will put the 15 car of Smith, Mike Smith, as a lap down because it was shoved inside of the 2nd turn marker tire. 12. Watch out. Schaefer is plows into the number 42 of Thacker, knocks him out of the way. Taking advantage of it is Higgins as Connor hits the number 68 of DeWitt, almost knocks him out of the way in turn 3, and now Higgins is hit and knocked out of the way by the number 12 of Schaefer. Higgins is going to drop at least 3/4 of a lap down. It's out of the 2nd turn. Now Smith's trying to go above Messmore. Kil-Kare runs into Smith, turns him sideways, wrecks him and wins the race. Smith hits the wall, finishes in 2nd place, 3rd place to Cashman, and I think Smith might have gotten the position there as well, as Smith now rams the number 24 of Rackley. Controversial victory at the Indianapolis Speedrome. is fair to call it a controversial victory.
Down the backstretch. Oh my, and they bump and bang. Here it comes. And it raised the Church Brothers over Collision Center.
Crossover. Now it's the 51 of Smith that knocks the number 33 of Paquette out of the way and hits him head on after the spin. The cars are stalled over in turn number 3. Smith pulls away, and this time he leaves Paquette hung out to dry. Oh, the number 12 of Schaefer slid the car sideways 2 different ways and almost takes out the leader. Hughes leads, trying to close up his Tunney at a crowded crossover, and Hughes is hit and taken out by the number 52 of Lewis, and also in there is Dwayne Lee, who slowed back to last driver on the lead lap. Tunney still has the advantage. Sizemore and Sutton. Watch out, Turner trying to come down to the inside and took the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore down into the infield for a half spin. Collision takes out the leader. It was the number 6 of Tunney that crashed into the number 27 of Deal. Tunney's trying to get his car crawling through the intersection and rolls again. I don't know how Tunney is still going. There's also trouble with the number 4 of Rodney Sizemore. Hutton leads from the number 5 of Mike St. John in a crowded crossover, and Danny Turner is almost speared. Watch out, the Ken Lewis car is hit in the back by the number 31 of McIntyre, who takes out the number 66 of Murphy and the number 50 of Ernie Herrera, and move into a chance to challenge for the points lead of the Speedrome. 3 abreast traffic ahead of Sutton. On number 4, Rodney Sizemore spun and almost took out the leader in turn 3 in the last lap, but Sutton dodges the final bullet, comes to the line, and wins the figure 8 race at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Northwest Airlines number 4, but in the Chuck's Race Car Parts number 4, you have Rich Fenwick, who comes home the winner in this first figure 8 qualifier going into turn number 1. Edwards tries inside position, bouncing over the marker tire, almost flipping upside down to the number 56 is Rigdon, who ran over the number 22 of Bilbrey, broke the car and is already out of the race. Uses McLaren as a pick, but McLaren slides up in front of Smith. That allows McFadden to go back through, and McLaren clips with the number 32 of Sloan. Those drivers keep on going. They go into the first turn of lap number 3. There's Canal taking a sideways hit for the number 15 car of Mike Smith. He takes another hit from Smith, and Canal is knocked out of the way. Smith goes into position, being challenged by Chell in the number 48 as they come to the white flag. We've got a battle for the lead, a race for the last qualifying spot as we start this lap. Going into the first turn, Chell tries to measure, but Bilbrey spins again with a little help from the number 24 of Rackley. Is the car of Fegley, who gets into a ramming battle with Schaefer's machine. Watch out, Trent in trouble, hits the wall, and now comes down and spins right in front of Roden. Somehow Roden avoided the sliding Trent and kept on going in second place. Here's the white flag coming out for the number 20. Place in number 12 is Smith. 4 cars crash on the backstretch. Everybody keeps on going with the exception of Crawford's to 5th, Locks to 6th. 7th place is the number 11 of Fry. Last qualifying. Somebody has a big braking on that car. It's dropped a lot of water right on the track. It's a big skating rink at the north end of the racetrack. It completely scatters things. Locks in the number 56 of Rigdon. It's coming out of Rigdon's car, storming to the outside. You've got the number 65 of Whitaker, who gets sideways and spins and hits forward and puts forward into the wall hard. Two-car chain reaction crash coming out of turn number 4. Rex 2 machine in place. Now Van Meter has to watch out for the number 31 of McIntyre. McIntyre takes the position away. Rodney Smith tries to make the 3 abreast. Clip Van Meter's Teddy's car is broken. But moving through, you've got the 31 of McIntyre and the Van Meter number 67 getting the transfer spots. There's Sutton trying to get the car up Turner. Now Turner ramps the number 26 car. Edwards out of the way, but it doesn't help him one bit. Sutton is the leader. Watch out, Fox spins out of second place in the number 39. Watch out, and now the Frost car is spun by the number 24, and he hits in turn to Schaefer 12. Schaefer keeps on going, but now he spins in turn number 2. Fox behind of Amos, 4th place, the number 10 of Bedell. Watch out of the crossover. Amos is spun out. There's a spin by the number 15 car of Darren Sizemore. Almost takes out his brother. Darren Sizemore facing in the wrong direction. Gets restarted, but he is now dropped a lap down, and he says, I've had enough. I'm quitting. Bedell, watch out, the number 3 of Dwayne Lee wrecks the number 33 of Doug Gregg, slammed him out of the way, but he hurt himself to Dwayne Lee, and he drops back for the second time after contact combat on the racetrack. 6, Sutton with the advantage. Lee going through turn number 1, looks inside of Sutton. Sutton cuts it off in turn number 2. Behind these drivers, you still have the number 5 of Mike St. John. St. John is not that far back. Sutton almost spins. He collides with Dwayne Lee. The cars almost stop in 3. Mike St. John takes advantage of the collision. Dwayne Lee has a flat tire. So does George Sutton. And Mike St. John has the lead. George Sutton and Dwayne Lee take it to the limit and beyond. Take each other out. And Mike St. John steals the lead. There's a confrontation between Sutton and Lee. Those drivers don't like the way things turned out. They almost went at each other on the backstretch. They almost got out of their cars and went after each other. It took Darren Sizemore to separate them as the disappointed drivers walked back to the pit area.
Is holding a black flag in his left hand. As the field comes onto the 4th turn, he points the black flag at the number 42 car.
The top three finishers go to the main event. Morris has the early advantage. Cadell pushes hard out of the fourth turn, almost puts Smith into the wall, runs into the second spin, tears off his right rear wheel, puts him into the concrete, and Cadell hits him again as we go to red. Wheel Bussey in 44 comes underneath Lamb, trying to split from between cars is Smith in the 17, who hits Lamb and spins him out and sends him to last place. Lead, but he pushes up in turn number 1. Johnson comes down to the inside in 2. Deeper to the inside as McFadden, as Johnson spins, plows McFadden and knocks him into the infield. 40 of Lamb. Let's see if this lap traffic makes a difference. Paquette is trying to get Bussey caught behind the traffic. He comes down to the inside, and Bussey is wrecked at the finish and wins, even though he bounces off Lamb and Paquette at the wall. Third. A lot of these same guys will watch to see if they take the trip to the pit gate. Cars for stock heat race number 4. There's the number 24 of Rackley helping the number 28 of Rice out of the race. Rackley now comes down, bounces off the number 11 of John Connor. Backstretch action on lap number 5. Lewis goes into turn number 3. Oh, Thacker pushed it in way too hard. Comes down, hits Lewis, and hits the wall. Took himself out. Thacker, who had a qualifying spot to the main event, bounces off Lewis's machine, then contacts the concrete and finds himself out of it. We need Phoenix to the pass gate, please. We need Roger Phoenix to the pass gate. Will come around, Will DeWitt to get second place. Third place is in doubt for the moment. It goes to the 97 of Bodas. Bodas gets rammed out of the way by Neat in the number 41, and Neat now comes and rides up to the inside of Long, helps Neat and Fegley out of the way through 3 and 4. Fegley and Neat and Harris ram each other coming down the main stretch, disengage, a shower of sparks and parts, and now Neat bumps the wall after breaking the front end of his car. Through Green leads and Smith and steals the lead, and in fourth place you've got McCluskey bumping and banging for fourth place. Sees Shelf. Whoop, there's the number 66 of Cadell and the 20 McFadden running into each other. Cadell's got a flat tire on the left front. Oh, big crash between the McFadden car trying to go around him. He spins and almost gets hit head on by the number 52 of Thacker. Here's the race for the lead with lapped cars in the middle of it all, and Johnson is passed by Smith as they go around that lap traffic. Johnson comes down to the inside and takes the right flag in the lead, and he hits McCluskey and takes out Johnson, spinning him into the infield like a whip. Johnson restarts, but he's dropped back to second place. No, he spins again. McCluskey's out of it, so is Johnson. Mission number 2. Those drivers bump as we see Curtis spin in number 4. Outside move by Reed. 1, 3, 4, 6 cars collide coming out of the fourth turn. It looks as if the 31 of McIntyre, the number 50 of Herrera, the number 11 of Fry. Oh, watch out, red flag comes out as the track is blocked, and we go to red. Bissell will stay on the track. The drivers that appeared to be really hung out to dry were the number 11 of Tracy Fry and the number 51 of Frank Norman. Challenged by the Van Meter car. They sandwich Lewis going into 3. Lewis clips and spins out the Rodney Smith car and just barely avoiding the rest of the field, including the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore. Around Lewis's machine just now moving past the guy. Oh, Lewis bounced off Bedell and slammed him hard into the concrete, cutting down Bedell's right front tire. Liddell is signaling his car is broken and can't run and will go to red. Gary Bedell in a beautifully fast automobile was trying to go around Lewis in the number 52. Get back in the machine, strap himself in and try it again. Gary Bedell bids a farewell to us for this race in the Indianapolis Speedrome. Lap down. He is no longer running in second place. That belongs to Bussey. Look at Barney come up the racetrack. He knocks Harris out of the way and whips himself into the infield. Oh no, Harris is almost hit by 6 cars. And somehow he survives that one. As Mike Smith car sideways collecting number 24 Dick Rackley on the back stretch. And also spinning is the number 65 of Higgins facing the wrong way. Over Roden's number 25, Paquette's number 33, and the number 65 of, watch out, oh, big crash, 3 cars, 4 cars involved on the main stretch. The 26 of Morris speared the number 11 of Connor, and Bussey, the second place car, rams into the back of Morris as the red flag comes out. Four cars crashed on the main stretch to start with. Connor gets out of his machine, checks on Morris, expressing a degree of unhappiness, which you can understand. But the driver that's the mystery to this point, and I want to be nice to the guy, but Bussey in the number 44 came charging out of the 4th turn, looked for an opening that basically didn't exist, and ran into the back end of Morris's car. But what really has to hurt for Bussey, if he ever gets a copy of the tape and watches this, you'll see another dozen or so cars come down to the inside, not come anywhere really close to Connor's 11 and Morris's number 26. Out as we saw the number 68 of DeWitt and the number 48 of Shelf almost get together. Paquette is, what? He gets hit and nailed and spun out by the number 65 of Higgins. Higgins and Paquette get together. Paquette misses the 4th turn marker tire and puts himself 1 lap down. Here is Catron trying to come to the inside of Roten and almost clipping him. Roten's got one more chance. He closes up on Fox in 3 and 4. Fox holds it together. Roten's hit by Catron and almost spun. Fox wins by 3 lengths over Roten. 3rd place is Catron in the lead as the rest of the field splits 3 and 4. Gress coming northbound. There's the number 77 of Carr. Oh, there's big trouble in the middle of the pack in the back of the field. Several cars have stuffed each other. 2 that are in big trouble are the number 99 of Garrigus and the number 66 of Murphy. And they've trapped the number 6 of Bill Tenney Jr., who just now gets restarted and trying to set this restart. No, now there's trouble for George Sutton, one of the fastest guys on the racetrack. Watch out, a crossover! Kenny Sizemore and Mike St. John slam each other hard at the intersection. And so Brandenburg spins right in front of Mike Nelson, who had the lead in the race. 2 cars hit hard in the intersection. Sizemore's number 8 and number 5 of Mike St. John will continue to race. Now we'll go to red. Now we'll go to red. Immediately, Bobby Long, an experienced Indianapolis firefighter and emergency worker, works up to Kenny Sizemore, the number 8. The best person you could have in this circumstance, checking with Kenny Sizemore, would be Bobby Long. You notice that Rodney Sizemore, Kenny's son, very concerned, immediately pulls over to the father's car and stands over there to take a look. Mike St. John is being checked. Actually, it looks as if Mike's out of his car and checking over his machine. Kenny Sizemore being checked out in the hardest crossover crash we've had, and the MTA ambulance is now staging to the scene as well. Mike St. John walking toward the Sizemore car, as concerned as anybody else. And there comes Darren Sizemore, the number 5, as the family is together in an odd sort of reunion here at the start-finish line area of the oval, right between the oval and figure 8 start-finish lines. The Sizemore family and friends will be concerned about Kenny's condition. Obviously, from the look of things, he was feeling the brunt of that blow. we can assure you that Kenny Sizemore is in the best hands possible. Coming into the third turn, almost missed the corner, got restarted almost a lap down, made one bonsai move through the intersection that worked. The second time it didn't work, and he collided with Mike St. John. Father and son have an emotional reunion down in the car. Kenny Sizemore, bruised and battered, walks away. The sons check to make sure that Dad's race car is in good shape. And we see the odd scene of Darren Sizemore getting into the machine. Actually had to get into the cockpit to release the car and get it out of gear so that the guys could take care of things. Sizemore's father and son comfort each other. And now it's time to go back to the business of racing here at the Indianapolis Speedrome as they pick up parts and pieces from the two Sizemore sons now in the top 5. You've got the lead going to the 87 of Turner, comes to the outside of Heiser, becomes the 4th winner near this race in the second. Sizemore in a crossover crash as Cumbie came blindly through the intersection and took out the number 15 of Darren Sizemore. Looks as if Darren Sizemore's car has stalled. He was trying to get up to the front of the field. He's decided enough is enough, backs his car out of the way. Dawsey tries to come back, but those drivers are not alone because it's the number 4 of Rodney Sizemore that joins them in a battle for the lead. It's Rodney Sizemore now trying to get to the inside of the second place. Dawsey in turns number 3 and 4 will finish 15 laps. This big crash in the intersection. Danny Turner's front end of Turner's car is taken off with a collision with Scott Martin's car, and Martin comes into the 3rd turn wall. Turner had the lead, and we go to red. We go to red for a big crossover crash, the second one of the night. And now Darren Sizemore, who was in his crossover crash, goes over to check with Turner's car. Turner was headed southbound. Going northbound with Scott Martin. Scott Martin ripped off the bumper and part of the radiator assembly of Turner's car. Martin's car nosed into the wall over turn number 3. Darren Sizemore over to talk to Turner to check out his condition, and we're also checking Martin at the other end of the racetrack at our second big crossover crash of the night. No problems with Danny Turner. He gets out of his car, he's okay. There's also no indication for the time being for Martin, some indication that Martin was shocked by his part in that crash. Turner looks to be limping away just a bit, more disappointed than anything else. All the way through the 1993 Indianapolis Speedrome racing season, we really didn't have that much in the way of major league crossover confrontations. That has changed tonight with 2 big-time wrecks, and look who's out checking things over after he was in his wreck. It's Kenny Sizemore that's come back to spectate. Thank you very much. People are going to have to be careful to make sure that they can find a solid piece of metal in the front end of Turner's car to tow the machine away on.
And before you were blaming John. Yeah, I was blaming John. And you were blaming John way back before we were here.
into the wall and turn number 3. Now fired spurts across 4 cars, and Billy Smith at the 51 hooks the number 22 of Bilbrey just to the outside of the 26 of Morris. Morris pushes out of the corner. Bill Smith wants to square off the corner. Look to the inside one. He rams the car forward. Almost Brett Pinhead, the number 92 Johnson, and takes the other Smith into the wall, taking all 3 out of the lead. The number 92, Bill Smith in 51, and David Morris, the number 26, kind of look at each other and gesture just a bit there in the infield. And yeah, I get the feeling there's more of a bit of disagreement between them about what happened. But it's the number 24, Brackley, who wants to follow through Begley on the inside and get underneath McFadden to get to position. Watch out as Harris almost loses it going down the backstretch. Through all of this, watch out, Begley sideways, runs over the occupier, hits the wall, looked by the number 24, Brackley. Brackley was about ready to hit the wall head on, and he was helped out of that by Brackley. Now Brackley is facing a big challenge to the number 20 McFadden as Harris was ran by the number 97 of Bowman, almost runs into the 38 of Downey, just as the number 76 car of Reed spins right in front of that 3-car battle for Paul Mike Bud, and he almost put all 3 of them into the wall. It's restarted. Now here's what we got here. We've got 3 drivers going for the last qualifying spots for the main event. To a collision between the cars of Boston and Busty. Busty survives somehow going down the backstretch. Tries to carry to the inside 3 bus racing. But almost did it. Spun out by Boston, who takes himself out in turn. And the lead goes to Busty in 44. The second place to Rope in 25 and the green flag. We need to watch out as they come down. 3 cars collide. 4 cars crashed in turn number 1, going into the first turn of the first half of the race. We're desperately trying to disengage. Backing out of it is the number 28 of Andy Rice. Rice is trying to get going again, but will go to red. Half the field crashes and hook into the first turn. There was the first off, it was the number 57 of McIntyre, the 30 of Brightman, and the number 29 of Catron got into it. Then Rice and the number 28 got into it, and all 4 cars went sliding in to the first turn wall. He toward it, jumped over the wall. Now you know. Don, well, you can say a lot of things about Don, including fat and bald, but you can't call him dumb. I'd jump over the wall if I saw those guys coming toward me, too.
Division. Outside, car number 42, Jim Gregory. Oh, looking for the white flag, the last lap of this 20-lap feature event. Oh, look out! Oh, Jim Gregory on the last lap. We hope he's all right. Unbelievable. Challenge tonight, Mike St. John. All right, Mike St. John was waving his hands during driver introduction.
Outside and take the position as Mike Smith. Wants to go to the outside as Bill Smith comes down to the inside of Fegley, makes the move. Sloan comes down to the inside of Fegley and steals the last transfer position of the main event. Winner of this one's going to be Prine. Second place to Bill Smith, and Fegley and Mike Smith collide as they come across the line, and Mike Smith drives into Fegley and spins it out after the race is over. for third place. Farrar goes to the outside. He's hit by the Smith car and has to back off in order to survive. Backing into the number 17 of Smith, cannot make the pass. Rams into Smith and almost puts him into the wall as they come across the line. Each other very closely as they start to move off the track. Farrar finished fourth, did not get a transfer spot to the main event. Heat race number 4. Stock heat race number 4 to the pit gate. There's Whiteman taking a hit from Canal and spinning out, and also looping it is the number 12 of Schaefer. As those cars stood at the south end of the racetrack, up in front is the 92 of Johnson to the inside of... As the position long once again slams the door in his face, almost spins in front of Connor, comes down and almost gets him as they come to the line, but Connor has the lead as they start lap number 6. Green flag. We need the cars for Pro Stock Heat Race number 1 to the pit gate. Cars, watch out as the number 19 car, Todd Buckler, big hit into turn 1 wall, and the number 65 of Higgins also spins, and we'll go to red before we get the field through one lap. Todd Buckler tried to make the first turn with the throttle open. It did not work. Todd Buckler has used up the entire right front corner of that car. The race, 4 drivers racing for 3 transfer spots to the A main. Tunney decides he'll try the outside, running wheel to wheel with Reed. Almost introduced Reed. He's put into the wall by Charlie Reed. Now gets to the inside and takes the position away as Charlie Reed spins out of the position and will drop back to last place on the track. Tunney survives a pasting into the main stretch wall as we come to the white flag. Goyler came back to get the second and last qualifying position to the main event in that contest. Yeah, Mike Brandenburg also won for the first time in his Pro Stock career at the Indianapolis Speedrome. Through, trying to sneak between them and take the third qualifying spot is Bodos. Bodos is caught in traffic. Johnson is spun out and nailed by Fagley. It causes a 4-car chain reaction crash as everybody tries to get on through. Now Johnson goes over Whiteman, and rather the 98 car ran over Whiteman and rammed into the Johnson car. Johnson gets going again, but the number 85 of Fagley that got nailed in that mess has himself the right rear wheel torn off and will go to a red flag. The typical opening of a typical stock semi-feature at the Indianapolis Speedrome, even including some drivers that don't know the race has been stopped until they realize they're the only guys out there running at racing speed. Between the marker tire and Bilbrey, Schaefer is in second place. The Smiths are nailed. The Smith car nailed along with Bodos, and the number 66 of Cano got both of them in one hit. Now they're trying to get out of the way as the train moves around. Here's the number 44 of Farrar almost running into Cano's car as he tries to put this quartet of guys a lap down. Looks to the inside. He's hit by Farrar. They collide as they go around the marker. Bilbrey tries to make the move. He stalled. Farrar goes around the marker. Bilbrey comes to the inside and steals the race by a length. And Bilbrey collides with Schaefer and rips off his tire. Last qualifying spot is still in doubt as Sloan tries to get around the marker. No, here comes the 15 car. I think he was already a lap down, and Sloan gets third place. Victory in that one went to the number 22, Bilbrey. Oh no, Smith came down and nailed Canal in the infield. And now Canal's hit by both of the Smiths. And now it's a Smith battle in here. You've got 3 or 4 guys that are all angry at each other at the end of this race. Canal and the number 66 got double teamed by the Smiths, and also in the middle of that argument of sorts, you've got the number 12 of Schaefer, as some of the guys decided they're going to come out of the pit area and show they've got more enthusiasm than brains as they think they're going to change the way things turned out. What was I about to say? Yeah, Kurt Bilbrey won the race in the number 22, got it away from the second place number 44 Farrar right at the finish, and third place, as we saw it, went to Sloan in the number 86. Of Perry, and in fifth place, you've got the car of Long. There's Downey trying to jam to the inside. He's got problems. I think he's got a flat tire on the right rear, and Downey will be out of this race. Foster and Foster are still running first and second. One of the Fosters has a bumper bar coming off, but so far that won't slow him down. But the number 28 of Rice may slow him down as he nails it and cuts down his right rear tire. Assault for the number 28 of Rice takes out Foster, and when Foster spins, he almost takes out another 3 cars. I hope the guys out there realize that the race is over and they can take it easy. But they don't. They think they're still out there racing. Perry and Long nail each other. The race is over for these guys, and they continue to nail each other. And they're still out there racing. They don't want to stop. There's Long and Rice nailing each other. Perry slams Morris. They've turned it into a Pier 6 ball. They turned it into a demolition derby as they ran 11 laps in a 10-lap race. They still don't think the race is over. Of Long. What made that one extremely strange as opposed to the first one, when the guys came around, we called the point at which they won the race. At that point, the checkered flag came out for everybody, and the race was over. But for some reason, which I still can't figure out, the guys weren't ready to stop, and they actually went out there and ran an 11th lap that didn't count. And these cars be able to drive in the second round. The smoke clears, and they burn into the first turn. Swango has to give way. He nails the Pontiac and knocks it out of the way. The Pacer slams the Pontiac and wrecks him going into the first turn. Barclay to the outside. Swango to the inside. They run wheel to wheel out of the 4th turn. They come to the line. It was too close to call. We'll wait for the flagman's call on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in my 12 years of announcing at the Indianapolis Speedrome, we have a dead heat. We will rerun this race. Close. Cynthia Taylor survives in this mega buck car and wins. The victory dance from Cynthia Taylor, putting the Mustang away. And you'll see her next Saturday night at the Indianapolis Speedrome.
Cynthia's ready. She's been jumping up and down. I think she was jumping up and down inside that beautiful Eagle Talon. Cynthia, I gotta ask you, whatever possessed you, this is the most expensive car we've had running this. You came home a winner. Congratulations.
I think it was confidence, but at least I didn't wreck and total it.
He wants to make the move into third place, but can't make it go. Thrown in the back of the pack as the number 50 car spins and takes out several cars. Somehow everybody keeps on going. The only one that appears to be out of it would be the number 56 of Nelson. Watch out as the red flag comes out just as the number 50 gets back on the throttle. The 4th turn of the first lap of the race, number 67 of Van Meter. Those cars push up the racetrack. Ford almost gets into Thompson. Busty is almost pushed down in front of Aguilar, and Busty backs into the deal car, and he clips Weber, and the number 68 of Higgins taking out Smith and Amos as they have a 5-car chain reaction wreck going into turn number 3. Let's see who's going to be able to get away from this one. Smith is out of it with a flat tire, managing to pull away somehow is the number 65 of Higgins. He's got a broken tie rod. Amos pulls away just in time. Here are these stock guys getting. Now, of course, they're thinking to themselves, well, the guys in the Pro Stock B feature, Andy Aguilar, 8th place, the 67 of Eddie Van Meter, 9th place, the number 30 of Joe Bussey, who made down to the inside of Purcell. Purcell went high through 3 and 4. Edwards got sideways, forced Purcell high, and now almost the 4-car crash. Now Thompson is forced to the infield by Ford and takes the number 68 of DeWitt with him, who holds him off every inch of the way as they almost bump coming out of the 4th turn with 4 laps left to go. Turner tries to get to the outside as they're gradually catching up to Cummings, number 79, the earlier leader. Edwards out to Turner that time coming out of turn number 2. Turner will try to get on the outside. Edwards got in very hot into number 3. Gets sideways in front of Turner. Turner hits the marker tire, makes the pass, and takes over the lead. But Turner is not home free by any means. And George Sutton and 99, Donnie Garrigus. In the 7th row, the number 15 of Darren Sutton. Watch out as Rogers almost loses it on the top side of the racetrack. Three abreast racing down the backstretch. Finds Lewis on the outside. There's McFadden getting hit by Smith and spun into the infield and out of contention just that fast. And watch out as the Catron car with a flat tire spins his machine out of turn number 4. Finds himself facing the wrong direction. And the number 33 of Hawkett, blown tire on number 17 of Smith spins himself out. Here's Lewis out of the 4th turn, surviving and winning the oval feature. Second place to Bear. But Bear and the number 41 of Fenwick go through on the outside. Watch out, 4 cars in a crash in the intersection. Dwayne Lee, Kenny Sizemore, and the number 50 of Ernie Herrera in a massive crossover crash, bringing out the red flag. For the second time this season, the patriarch of the Sizemore family in a hard crossover wreck. And the World Figure 8 champion almost gets it upside down at the crossover. It looks as if everybody is going to get out of this in one piece as the track officials help Kenny Sizemore out of his car. Obviously, he's okay. As Kenny and Rodney and George Sutton go over there to check on Kenny Sizemore, Kenny's okay, but the guy that's really in trouble is Dwayne Lee. Now, Dwayne Lee's not hurt. He's still stuck inside of his car, but the problem is, how are they going to get Dwayne Lee's car out of there? Now, here's an odd situation where there's Darren Sizemore trying to calm his father down for one reason or another. I didn't see the real circumstance that led to that, but Darren Sizemore apparently, Kenny Sizemore is angry either at Herrera or at Dwayne Lee. Dwayne's okay. He's getting out of his car. He's got about a 10-foot drop if he doesn't watch out. He is really taking his time getting down from that mess. So Kenny Sizemore looks at the remains of his car, and it's all torn up. Come from a lap down and finish. Smoke out of Danny Turner's car. Dwayne Lee will storm through the gate and come back onto the racetrack, but he is already 1 lap down. Watch out, trouble with Edwards' number 26 car with a broken stub axle. No, that came off of George Sutton's number 7 in a hard crash coming to the start of the contest. How much bad luck can George Sutton have? In Sutton's collision with the number 26 of Edwards, it completely tore off the left front corner of Sutton's car. Your announcer was watching for Dwayne Lee's car to come charging out of the pit area and back onto the racetrack. We did not see the exact circumstances in which Sutton and the number 7 collided with the number 26 of Edwards. Whatever collision it was a massive one, completely shearing off the entire left front suspension assembly of Sutton's machine. As comprehensive damage that we've seen to a car like that this season at the Indianapolis Speedrome. They've got to come to the intersection one more time. They've got enough room to get through, and Turner wins by 2 car lengths over Mike St. John, with 3rd place going to Fred Bear, 4th place to the number 1 of Jack Dawsey Jr. On this road trip, it is a short distance from the Indianapolis Speedrome to the Anderson.
And the number 11 of Tracy Fry headed through turn number 4. Tracy
port on the left arm. He also has the left leg raised. Did take a big size hit. as those drivers try to cut through three slower cars and almost go three. They do go three abreast in the third turn. Smith trying to go way up to the top side. It's four abreast, and two of those guys take each other out, and three of them spin, and the leaders go on by as the number 40 of Lamb and the number 46 machine of Shearer ran into each other, and then plowing into both of them was the number 76 of Reed. It's lap number 1. But Foster leads the first lap. Now there's Backer to the inside in 42 going for second. Hits the 48 of Chelp and bounces him into the wall. Chelp rebounds and keeps going, but he's dropped back to next to last place. Concrete. There's Hal Rackley trying to go to the inside of Catcher, who in turn is trying to go outside of Rice, who almost spins in front. But now he's knocked out of the way by the number 24 of Rackley. Rice will get restarted and keep in contact with those drivers. Three abreast coming on the second turn. Almost Catcher hit the marker tire. Drops back. Rackley in 24 stays to the outside of Johnson and races hard for second place. Johnson pushes to the outside, collides with Rackley, cuts down a tire, spins right in front of both drivers as they go around him, and the number 28 of Rice, who spun under the pit gate. Canal gets tapped by the number 97 of Bodas. Canal almost into the concrete, and now Bodas spins in the backstretch. Now two other cars get together, Fegley and the number 14 of Long. Three cars spin on the backstretch in the first lap. Watch out, Walker crashes in turn number 3. The first lap keeps on going, comes out of it in fourth place. They hit again out of the fourth turn. Look at Taylor stay on the throttle. He gets nailed and knocked out of the way by the number 21 of Dalvin. Ahead of this, the number 7 of Sutton Gate. The number 67 of Van Meter clips the number 65 of Higgins. Higgins goes spinning in front of the entire field. Cars bounce all over each other, and now there's the 64 Grinder getting hit by Aguilar's machine and knocked out of the way. We've got another 20 or so cars to bring out for the second stock semi-feature at the first time. We see some blue smoke from Denny Buckler's number 81. Watch out, Turpin and Van Valkenburg spin. Chelp is hit by Buckler at number 4 and almost taking out the Lindenberg car as we come to finish the first lap of this contest. As Volkerwitz starts to the outside, he gets hit by the Brand car. Brand spins and hits Buckley and spins him out of Alden. It's Wayne Thompson in the lead in the number 22. Second place to Eddie Snap in car number 23. And in third place is, watch out, Volkerwitz going the wrong way on the racetrack. Watch out, it's the number 38 car gets hit. The car and Brand got put into the wall, and Volkerwitz still going the wrong way. Going almost last place. Watching as Kurt Bilbrey and Dave Bussey nail each other on the main stretch. Bilbrey hits Bussey and spins him out. Up in front, it is McKinney in 70. Watching as we go to turns number 3 and 4. There's the number 79 of McKinney up in front. Second place is the number 42 of Thacker. Third place is the number 85 of Fegley. He's to extend it, and he's got 3 drivers ahead of him. All 3 guys almost wreck each other out in fourth. Iron is running and now it's Morris and the number 14 of Long that crash on the other side of the leading machine of McKinney as the number 29 of Catcher, and now Smith and the number 51 drop out of the races. In the second place is Jimmy Foster in 53. In third place is another Foster. Smith spins through the intersection. Is plowed hard by McKinney. McKinney is out of it after the crossover crash. And a red will go out on only a few minutes ago. Running strong in the lead was the number 79 of Keith McKinney. Not that long after he carried that race to the ultimate triumph in the oval race. Now trying for the rare double of winning both oval and figure 8 contests in the Indianapolis Speedrome. Keith McKinney has crashed that car out of the intersection in a hit with the number 16 car. The place would be not Bilbrey anymore. Watch out for the 62 of Gaskins. He's hit head on by a car or 2. And there's Foster in a collision with Rice. There are 6, 8, 10 cars that have crashed in turn number 1 as we bring out a red flag. Foster got turned sideways into the wall, collecting several machines. Everybody also managed to have a chance to restart. The drivers were checking are the number 22, Bilbrey, and Gaskins, the number 62, who got turned around facing the wrong direction. It got pretty much speared head on, but looks like everybody will be getting out of this in one place. in 62, Bilbrey in 22, and that with 6 laps left to go. Katrin tries to come down to the inside of Rackley, coming through turns number 1 and 2. They look at traffic heavy, the intersection hesitate for a moment. Rackley got the better of that. Now Rogers is taking the wall by Byard. Both guys are wrecking each other hard, trying to move beneath them. Is Rackley, who bounced over the marker tire, almost flips the car. Now at the intersection, Rogers almost gets an attacker's car, and now Rogers has himself a bumper dragging and could drop out as Lewis spins helplessly in the infield. Byard is hit and almost spun out by the 27 of, Rackley was almost hit and spun out by Byard. Byard runs to the back end of Rackley and almost spins him out. Now trying to get back to the leading Rackley in number 24 is the number 29 of Katrin as Fegley spins the intersection, just barely missed by Schaefer, who's working up on Smith as those drivers race for position. We have 4 laps left to go. By my reckoning, Rackley leads in 24. Second place is Katrin in 29. Third place is the 12 of Schaefer. Fourth place is the number 51 of Smith. Now, it's the 24 that spun out. That's the 24 of Rackley was spun out. I think Rogers got him. Rogers was getting a black flag because his car is dragging a bumper. Rogers isn't slowing down for anybody for whatever reason. By my reckoning, that puts the Katrin car back into the lead. Second place is Schaefer in the number 12 as we work the 13th lap. Then I'll call the third place car the number 51 of Smith. Rogers again getting black flags, scoring for that car, ceased some time ago, but he is not dropping out. Now Rackley gets back restarted. He's running directly ahead of Katrin's machine. Watch out, Ford hit over the, Ford hit and wrecked the number 51 of Smith for whatever reason I don't know. Now Ford put the Smith car on.
He worked up a sweat. He's waving to his family and fans.
85 of Rich has a big time advantage. Watch out! Danny Turner got clipped going through the intersection. Finds himself spinning back. Somehow everybody will manage to get on through as cars bubble and jostle for position. But Danny Turner, who had a position way up in front of the field, now finds himself way, way back. Jeff Rich in big trouble at the intersection. Almost crashes Victor Buddy. Somehow gets to the intersection. Now that just barely survived. Now the 35 of Mike Hughes takes down the number 92 of Manny Aguilar at the intersection. And the new leader of the race is the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore, as 5th place is the number 77 of Cecil Carr. I'll give 6th place to Charles Crash at the crossover between the number 12 of Robbie Fry and the number 35 of Mike Hughes in his second crossover crash tonight. But it will be the number 12 of Fry that gets started once again. Hughes' son Rodney in number 4 trying to catch up. Rodney almost with a crossover crash as Manny Aguilar slid right in front of him. And Rodney Sizemore is lucky to be able to survive and tell the tale. Crossover at full speed to the leaders. Working the 30th lap of this one at the intersection. Brandenburg slows down, rear-ended hard by the number 4 of Rodney Sizemore. That puts Bedell to the lead. Reed in the second. Third place to Dawsey. Sizemore restarts, but he's slaughtering and oiling down the track. It's a skating rink in turn number 1. Mike St. John hits it and almost spins. Danny Turner hits it and almost spins. It will be Rodney Sizemore who had the lead, who drops out in violent fashion going into turn number 3. I'll give Mike St. John 4th. Watch out at the crossover. Brandenburg rams into the back end of the number 26 of Edwards, and both cars are disabled and will go to red. 2 cars involved in a big rear-end crash at the crossover stops the race. The number 26 of Roger Edwards had slowed down to wait for crossover traffic as Bedell drops out of the race after hitting another machine, the number 49 of Brandenburg, ironically enough. And Bedell makes the pit stop. Earlier we saw the number 40, we watch Bussey's number 30 as we stay under yellow. For a moment to see if Bussey's car can run. There's the spin over in turn number 1. Emerging from the smoke is Dawsey's car. Dawsey has spun and going to the wall is Fenwick's number 140. And now Jack Dawsey, well, we're watching Dawsey in the number 1. Dawsey over stopping by Cumbie. What does Jack have in mind? Jack Dawsey Jr. is circling aimlessly in the infield, and I wonder what sort of point he's trying to make. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to test the steering. The best survivor. Watch out. What is happening here? We had one driver that was over. Oh, that was Danny Turner. Never mind. It's nothing unusual, folks. It was just Danny Turner angry at somebody. This happens all the time. Nothing out of the ordinary, folks. Just Danny Turner deciding he didn't like what's happened on the racetrack. It's nothing new. Oh, by the way, Charlie Reed won the race, and by winning the race, he gets closer to the championship chase of the Indianapolis Speedrome. Taylor covers ground on the inside. Swango gets close. Taylor in the back. Spins himself out. Taylor wins the race. And for the final time tonight, Cynthia Taylor leaps from the car and dances in triumph. Unfortunately, we don't have any music available for this, but we do.
As Cynthia comes home, a winner of our 1993 Spectator Oval Drags. Well, they've seen you drive, so now they're going to hear you tell how you won this Oval Drag competition. Congratulations.
Thank you. But like I said last time, I think it's confidence. But I couldn't have done it without all you guys cheering me on and rooting for me. And I got one last thing to say. One last thing to say, and that's Bobby and Jimmy Foster. I told you one day I'd get out here and show you how it was done. Hope you took note.
Well, not only did they take notes,
Gets a particularly good shot. There's Schaefer coming down to the inside of Dawsey and taking the lead. Dawsey retaliates, grabs Schaefer, and knocks him out of the way to take the lead going down the backstretch. Dawsey holds on to the advantage through 3 and 4. He has shown that he will stop at nothing to win the Spectator Oval Drags as he comes across the line. So, for position in the finals. Whoever wins this race goes on for the finals of the losers bracket. Whoever loses goes on. Position. Russ bows behind Dawsey. He crosses over. They hit each other in 3. They nail each other in 4. They come to the line, but Dawsey still wins the race. You saw that Russ was willing to match Dawsey stride for stride, and so they're even going down the backstretch. Swango's got in front position, takes the position on the car. He gets sideways. Dawsey powers by on the outside. They come to the line. Too close to car. Too close to car. Dawsey. And they now both know that neither of them cares if they go away with the lead. But Dawsey will be getting for him. He goes to 3. He ran. He goes through 5 and goes into the buckles as Dawsey spins out.
Minutes to make an impression on the young people. Please say no to drugs, and if you do drink, don't drive. I want to thank my sponsors.
Remember, it's not raining. Cars for stock heat race number 3 to the pit gate. Cars for stock heat race number 3. Stock heat race number 3 to the pit gate. Long hits the Prime car and spins himself out. Lead is Foster's for racetrack, challenging Prime. They almost touch in 1. They almost touch in 2. They do collide. Prime and Fox get locked together for an instant. Now they disengage as Fox continues to attack to the inside. Back for the start of this one. We need the cars for stock heat race number 4 to the pit gate. Lamb hit and spun out by Downey. Downey is taken out by Lamb and Perry's in a 3-car chain reaction crash that almost takes Higgins' car as well. 10 as Wobbler pulls away to the number 37. There's Fegley to second place, the number 94. Collision between Smith and Thacker. And now Lewis rams and destroys the back end of Smith's car. Almost flips his machine coming out of turn number 2. Lewis was in a box and trying to get out and ran. And Smith is driving away with the rear end of his car all but torn off. Disengaged. Lewis was in the middle of a mess with a lot of other guys and ended up ramming over the back end of Smith's machine, almost tearing the entire back end off the car, and Smith casually drove away as if nothing had happened. Everything up that could be torn up on chickens number 61, and the driver very gradually gets out. He looks like he's hurting a bit, but what's really hurting is his car, which ripped just out. Van Meter outside move, looks for the lead in turn number 1 of lap number 8, inside Lewis, hits Van Meter, spins him out in front of the entire field, colliding out Taylor, who bumps into Lewis. Taylor's out with a flat tire. Lewis broken suspension. Lewis is out as well. Van Meter gets going again, and watch out, Van Meter almost took a kamikaze run at Lewis in the infield. For a moment, he was aimed right at Lewis's car. 66 Bob Knoll, 28 Andy Rice, 78 Mike Leeds. And Freeman is facing a big challenge on the outside by Victor Ribel. Cars all over the place. Rice in 28 and Downey in 38 collide. There's Ribel all over the place. Foster spins to number 3. Almost takes out the second place car. Oh, he's hit hard by Freeman, who slid over a marker tire. Long speared to number 20 McFadden. Hit him twice. Here come 3 or 4 other cars. The leaders have got the racetrack almost completely blocked. Ribel gets underneath those cars and comes across with 1 lap left to go. Eddie Van Meter and 32 Preston Maxwell Jr. Some distance back is the number 92 of Manny Aguilar. Now there's Rodney Smith nailing Scott Martin, taking him out of the race. Rodney Smith smashes his way into the lead. He has set the tone for the rest of this race, and it could be ruthless competition from this point forward. He and Nelson collide out of 3 and 4. They touch at the turn. They ram each other on the main stretch, and now there's Jeff Heiser hitting and almost wrecking Mike St. John in the number 5, running St. John to last place as we number 2 of Charlie Reed and the number 1 of Jack Dawsey Jr. as again Rich almost puts Dwayne Lee into the main stretch wall. He's just ahead of them. And now Rich is helped into a spin by the number 7 of Sutton, and he's out of it. Rich with the pass into second place. Now there's some bumping there between the Fegleys, sending one Fegley into the air and into the wall in front of the entire field. He's smashed by a half-dozen cars. The Fegleys take each other out, and the crashing extends all the way into the first turn as we bring them down to red. Ellie Fegley, Mike's Fegley's car soared into the air, came down on all 4s. For one moment it looked as if Mike Fegley would maintain control of the 85. Instead, he spun in front of the field and got slammed by a half-dozen cars. Now the Fegleys will try to explain exactly what happened as they make the pass, as we see Bussey bump the back end to the number 39 of Fox. Ryan's in trouble and slows down. He's knocked out of the way by Schaefer, but that allows Smith to take the position. Here's Smith trying to hold off Schaefer. Schaefer wants to go to the inside of Smith. Spy, the 44. Side, going through Schaefer, and Foster is nailed and taken out by Foster just as the red flag comes out because a car lost the wheel. The family that wrecks together stays together. In this case, it's the number 24 car of Kelly Higley that lost his left front tire. That brought out the red flag. Foster, and almost puts him into the wall. Now it's Schaefer on the charge. Schaefer, watch out! There's Van Valkenburg and Foster taking each other out at the start-finish line to get Foster as he goes in pursuit of him. Now the backstretch. Van Valkenburg took a run at Foster. Now Foster's going to take a run at Van Valkenburg, and he drives him into the wall. Valkenburg in turn number 4. Foster gets his payback. Van Valkenburg is wrecked again. Through all of this, Van Valkenburg is getting out of the car, and he's out of the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Foster. Foster will wreck almost everybody on the track as we come down to a red flag.
They'll have to pull in the car. Look at their cheering.
And out now it's going to be man against man, one-on-one. They're going after each other on the racetrack. We're fighting as hard as we can to keep Foster and Van Valkenburg apart. Well, here's our situation now that we have worked hard to gain our composure. We still do have a couple of laps to go to decide the winner of the stock oval feature. One last chance for Schaefer to make his move. He gets close to Wampler, closes in, gets on his back end, can't make the pass. Wampler spins across the line and wins the stock oval feature by less than a length over Schaefer. In third place is the car of Sloan, and I'll give fourth place to Keith McKinney. It's the lead of the number 55. Out of it already is the number 29 of Curtis. The number 15 of Darren Sizemore is spun out, and Jeff Rich finds a gap in the intersection. Almost is taken out by the number 66 of Curtis Murphy, who spins for life in the crossover. Abreast going into the first turn. 3 abreast in turn number 2 as Nelson spins and collects George Sutton, who tries to go to the outside. Sutton's car is hurt. He won't realize it as he gets to turn number 3, and Sutton is out with a broken suspension and a flat tire, suffered in the collision with the number 56 of Mike Nelson. Places the watch out of the crossover. It's the number 4 Rodney Sizemore, who almost sacrifices the life of the number 39 of Amos in his drive to succeed. Bear and Rich racing hard. Oh, Rodney Sizemore is hit and spun out by the number 92 of Aguilar. Sizemore restarts, but now he has fallen irreparably 1 lap down. The number 4 behind. Oh, Amos rammed, was the number 10 of Adele rammed into Bill Tunney Jr.'s car, shearing off the right front suspension of Bedell's car. Tunney's machine still runs, even though Bedell left his right front tire behind, still smoking from the sheer force of the impact, knocked through the intersection by the number 39 of Robert Amos and bringing us to red. Side swipe by the car of Steve Reiner, and he's hit head-on by Fred Bear. And Bear hits Aguilar, who runs into the fireworks. And we bring out a red flag. Jeff Richard, trying to continue to run on a flat tire, got into trouble at the intersection and spun through the crossover, was hit by Fred Bear head on, then Bear rebounding off Rich's machine, hit Manny Aguilar and put Manny Aguilar into the fireworks. I don't believe it. Mike St. John is exposing his belly button to the fans, and the fans cheer. Racetrack, he's trying to kick his car back into shape. I've never seen this before. Down to the inside, St. John covers ground. Dwayne Lee looks for racing room out of the 4th turn. Kenny Sizemore's there, and the leaders just barely miss him as St. John beats Lee by a length. 3rd place to Amos and 4th place to Dawsey. driver of the number 87, who carries more aggression into this racing center. Number 3, challenging Benton on the outside of the second turn. Away. Number 33, Doug Gray, tries to put Nelson on 64 wider in the intersection, and Doug Gray somehow keeps on going. I'll slam into the infield. His number 32, Russell Maxwell, in a cloud of red dust, knocked into the infield by no rampaging pacer. Danny Turner, number 87. Then he's on to number Charlie Reed, where he starts as he rams through the intersection and falling to number 1 Jack Holmes. Outside on second place, the cars get up the banking. Riley tries to carry the speed out of number 4, Danny Turner. Draws Riley into the start, and it's desperate to second place. Riley comes back as he ties with that in third place, and from third to behind him, 2 cars back into number 2, from Charlie Reed to number 4. They're steady. They come out of a cloud of smoke. They look, they're still racing for position. They're still racing for position. Now they get on the trail. They race each other. Charlie Reed and they're steady as they rock each other on the last lap. Understand. You may love him, you may hate him, but you can't ignore him in the number 5, Mike St. John. Wonderfully equipped and supported racetrack. The driver that starts in 16th place is a driver that is familiar to you. He is the son of the person that another one of those quiet professionals who is a terror when you put him behind the wheel. We ask you to help us salute these drivers as they prepare.
Goes to Dayton, Ohio, to Kil-Kare Speedway, which is southeast of Dayton. Oh, here comes a big hug. One giant leap for me.
Last week's feature winner now dives into the first turn of lap number 2. He hit the wall. Bobler overcooked it going into turn number 1 and slapped. Johnson is still in second place to the number 93. He pushes hard and smashes the wall. Takes out Pine. Running in second place is the number 29 of Katrin up to the main event. Ironically enough, it may be Johnson in number 93. Since neither driver finished the last lap of the race, it would depend on who was ahead option into the lead. Byard takes him high in turn number 1 and 2. Trying to make it 3 abreast was Perry in the number 19 as two cars crash each other in the back of the field. The 87 of Sloan and the 19 of Miller ran into the Jeep. The leader is the number 27 of Byard. Second place is Perry's 18. One of Greg Sloan. It looks as if Sloan came out the worst for wear in that one. And what got our attention, of course, was that Wally Miller in the number 19, after the crash, ran into the Jeep. It wasn't particularly hard. It was more of a bump than a crash. I think 25 of road to the outside of turn 3 and 4, and now there's Reibold almost getting into Spurgeon. He hits Spurgeon and puts him into the wall, and now Road takes his run at Spurgeon and drives him almost into the concrete, forcing Leeds to slow down and lose a couple of spots. Old-fashioned racing is back in town, and the leader of the race is the number 11 of John Connor. Now a short conversation about racing strategy between Victor Reibold, who has gotten out of his car, and Clayton Roten in the number 25. A short, sweet, yet reasonable discussion between the two guys, which may end up with them putting their cars back together. Trying to go to the inside. You've got the second Fegley, Mike Fegley, and now there's Rice spinning out of number 4 with an assist from Smith. Now as the number 31 of 5 with the demise of Trouble as the number 2 of Charlie Reed and the number 6 of Jack Dolphy Jr. spin each other, and now Charlie is hit by the number 33 of Doug Gregg. Gregg's car is damaged, and he drops out of the race. Reibold is almost taken out by Foster, who turn is hit by Prime, and we come around the marker with the number 96 of Rogers up in front. 11 of Connor as we finish lap number 1 of 25. There's the number 65 of Higgins, helped into a spin into the infield. Higgins will restart from last place. Number 2 to the pit gate. Here we are as we come down to finish lap number 8 of 25. And still up in front is the number 71 of Frost. Now Bob McFadden takes his challenge for the lead to the outside of turn number 3 of lap number 9. It is moving up the challenge. Frost for the lead. Trouble has Bussey and the number 25 of Roten spin. They might have gotten an assist from Perry's car. It'll be the number 25 of Roten that gets restarted. Bussey apparently will drop out. Frost gets blocked by the number 94 Begley to the outside. Here comes the 1. Now there's the number 94 Begley spinning out of his position. And now Connor hits Sloan with the number 42. That cut down a tire on Sloan's car. You can see Sloan bringing up a shower of sparks with that car that is now running low. That's for the lead. Connor is right on McKinney's tail. Rather, McKinney's right on Connor's tail and comes high. Connor wants to go to the inside of McFadden as they start lap number 22. There's Connor running into McFadden, messing him out of the way, taking the lead, damaging McFadden's car, and putting him out of the race. That contact damaged McFadden's car, and it puts Connor into first place. McFadden with a flat tire on the right rear. And the contact between him and the number 11 of Connor made the difference. McFadden, usually a nice guy, had a frustrated look on his face as he walked over in the area of the front stretch and then thinks again and walks off a more quiet fashion. 7 laps left to go. Ahead of the number 1 of Dawson and the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore. Bumping, banging, crashing. 2 cars go spinning. The number 7 of Sutton and the number 79 of Curtis goes sliding. That allows the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore to get back around Dawson and take the lead as we finish lap number 43. Dawson and the number 31 of Larry McIntyre as we work to lap number 3. But watch out, the number 16 who went spins at this time takes out the number 23 of Eddie Stam, but also collects 2 other cars, the number 48 of Rodney Smith, and a 4th machine that appears to be obscure to me at this point. That's the number 30 of Bussey. Both drivers trying to get disengaged as we work to finish lap number 3. From the back gets a good shot and moves up into the top 10. And now there's the number 6 of Bill Denny Jr. getting in and spared big time by the number 8 second place. You've got Dolphin 5.8 seconds back.
On the number 55 diesel car, they collide coming on the fourth turn. Both cars spin through the infield. Car keeps on going. So does charge all the way around this figure eight. Carson Reiner gets his car off the track. Now, the number 55. Watch out, collision between Leonard Basham and Bruce Tunney. The collision cuts down Bruce Tunney, right rear tire. Bruce Tunney has a flat tire. Good on going. Doug Ray turns to the inside, wants to move through. Watching out for Scott Fox, who backs out of the way. Oh no, both Ray and the car running. This turn number 2. That gives the lead to Leonard Basham in the number 9. Right flag. Basham tries to bend around those slower cars in turn number 1. St. John and Lee are there. They jostle each other in the second turn. Almost taken out by Rodney Smith, who has some sort of fire under that car. Everybody backs up with a General Tire figure 8 challenge. The victory over St. John in 1.3 seconds. In second place is Frank St. John. Third place is Wayne Lee.
Going into the first turn, it's Misty Barker and Elizabeth Miller. Misty Barker is a nice, safe start. As the leader is Chris Snap, and we've got a bit of trouble in turn 1. Speedrome Hall of Fame, Leroy Warner, his family. Behind them, many of the members of the Indianapolis Speedrome Hall of Fame, their relatives, and the old-timers who have assembled here tonight for this very, very special occasion. While their photos are being taken, let's give them a round, warm Speedrome welcome for all the years of greatness they have given to the Indianapolis Speedrome. Again, our congratulations to Leroy Warner and Faye, and it's great to have you folks back up with
To green. Again, we need the cars for stock heat race number 2. Watch for John Portman. Pushed into Spurgeon. Spurgeon hits the wall and is smashed by the number 32 of Sloan. Somehow everybody except Spurgeon keeps on going and backed into the wall, but as he was backing into the wall, he also clipped Donnie Sloan's number 32. Sloan took a hit right on one of the rear tires. Somehow he is able to keep on going. That is a miracle and a half. As for Tim Spurgeon, who has seen the back end of one of the Indy Towing Service wreckers more often this season than he probably wants to remember, he has another one of those frustrating moves back into the pit area. Pass under a yellow by the Indianapolis Speedrome. When you see the yellow come out, it is simply an advisory. It means, well, there's potential problem here, but you can continue to race at your own pace. Maybe one chance to get up to the number 79 of McKinney. And he runs into the back of the McKinney, turns him sideways. McKinney does not move 1 inch and will finish in third place ahead of Paul Kent in pursuit of Sloan for the last transfer spot to the main event. Foster almost hit the wall coming out of turn number 2, watching his rival, brother Chuff, is hit and spun out by the number 38 of Graham. And there's Chuff facing the wrong way as Graham moves to position number 5 as he in cars for stock heat race number 5. Watch out! Collision between Foster and Morris puts both cars hard at the wall, taking out Clayton Rolton, and will go to red before we get the field through turn number 2. And now Clayton Rolton may have a throttle stuck or something as he tries to get that car disengaged. It broke loose before we even got to the first turn. There was a collision between the number 52 of Billy Foster and the number 26 of David Morris. Both of those cars got together, collided. Morris's car got turned around sideways, backed into the wall with Foster's number 52 hooked into him. Those cars in tandem crashed into the wall, caught behind them from his starting position number 8 on the outside of the 4th row. Roten had no place to go, and now we've got ourselves one of those typical Indianapolis Speedrome occasional disagreements. Apparently, Mr. Roten and Mr. Foster are disagreeing about what happened. Since you can't hear what's happening out there on the racetrack, we have a special radio link down there and translate to English. Okay, here's the translation. Foster is saying, sir, I do not understand why you were not able to go through the turn because you had several feet of racetrack available. Mr. Roten says, no, I'm sorry. I thought that I had the right to that particular 3 feet of track on the inside, and we don't like the way that turned out. The rest of the translation is slightly garbled. Demonstrations tonight by building a demo derby car and coming out here to try and race of the Indianapolis Speedrome in the demolition derby. What suspension settings and tire pressures and trying to get the cars to actually go around turns, they'll just be trying to tear each other up. It goes down to the inside of Canole and Reed takes the lead, bringing with them Rogers. Now Canole collides with Fegley. Fegley takes a ride into the backstretch wall. And also there goes the number 42 of Thacker. Meade now takes a hit for the number 96 of Rogers. Everybody manages to get going again. 9th lap of the race. As Thacker runs over the marker tire, falls back to 4th place. Contact between the cars. They run each other hard. They nail each other coming across the line. They're still wrecking each other over in turn number 1. Rackley's barely going, and Rogers nails Rackley. They're still trying to go down the backstretch. Now Rogers gets restarted and flies around Rackley, going through turns number 3 and 4. And it'll be Rogers winning this one. Rackley's got 2nd place. The car will barely move. Will he stay in that 2nd place? Here come Meade and the car of Thacker. They go above and beyond Rackley, and they get the last transfer spots to the main event. And the leader is Perry as we finish lap number 1 of 10 in this race. 2nd place is McFadden. No trouble. Foster is stuffed by the number 65 of Higgins. Both of those drivers managed to get disengaged and rolling again. Corner and win the race. Connor has spark. He's trying to get going again. Finishes at 2nd as Lamb runs into Corbly. And 3rd place will be the number 33 of Paquette. Now the car of Catron is rammed by the number 23 of Ernie McFadden. They're racing for position. They almost run into Lamb's damaged car. And now Ernie McFadden smashes the car of Foster as we come down to the checkered flag in the end of this race with wrecked cars strewn everywhere. The winner times of this race moves out and he points at the pace car, which had nothing to do with the wreck. Well, we can't blame him for being frustrated. I don't think it's normal for anybody to be in a really good mood after you wreck your car, whether it's a street car or a race car. As they finish lap number 5 of 15, and we see the Thacker car also sideways. Now Johnson moves through as they see the number 90 car of Murphy spin. That puts Rice in the lead, and the number 1 inherits the lead and will be able to hold it. Watch Paquette work Bussey as we come to the finish. Johnson wins. 2nd place will be Rogers. 3rd place Rackley, who wrecks with Paquette and Bussey. And then you got Long and Smith. And look at this. Bussey and Paquette are taking it seriously. They're chasing each other all over the infield. And our wrecker has to almost wreck the Bussey car as they take it to the limit and beyond. And ramming into Rackley after the race was over was the number 79 of McKinney. Wayne develops that, there are some guys that are supposed to run up front and other guys that aren't supposed to, that kind of run in the middle of the pack. Maybe Jerry Johnson was one of those guys that was expected to run in the back of the pack that wasn't necessarily supposed to win. I think the reason that you saw that wild action at the end of the race, I think the reason you saw guys wrecking and crashing right and left and chasing each other all over the racetrack was that Jerry Johnson frustrated them. Jerry Johnson, the little guy. Jerry Johnson, the guy that's not supposed to win in the Indianapolis Speedrome. Jerry Johnson put them all away big time to mount his challenge on the number 71 of Frost as we work to lap number 7. Now Johnson spins out of 2nd place, is hit by the other 32 of Donnie slow and then is hit by Bob McFadden. Johnson keeps on going. He's got a lot of smoke and fire under that car. It's because something has gone wrong, and just as that happens, the red flag comes out. He drove up to this point. Will have his chance to celebrate a figure eight victory, a rare figure eight victory at the Indianapolis Speedrome as we start to bring the pro stock cars onto the track for their figure eight contest. Sizemore has busted up through the field and is challenging his brother Darren for position. At the intersection, Darren backs off. Rodney has the better opening and keeps on going straight through. Two cars have crashed hard over in turn number 3 and 4, and we're going to red. Big crash between the number 8 of Kenny Sizemore that's ripped off most of the right side bodywork from Sizemore's car, and Charlie Reed involved in this wreck as well in the number 2. Reed's out of his car and is okay, and the Sizemore machine looks as if Sizemore is pretty much, well, he has completely destroyed the back end of his car, but the officials are checking him over, no indication of a problem with Kenny Sizemore at this point. Now, as a precaution, we do send the ambulance out there, and we notice that the Sizemore brothers, Rodney and Darren, have now stopped their car over for what would be Kenny's second big figure eight crash this year, and the second time he's needed some attention there as well. And Sizemore's business partner, George Sutton, there as well, as we watch the effort underway over in the area of turn number 3 in the figure eight. Mike St. John also walking over there to check both things over. Mike St. John and everybody concerned about the number 8 driver, and there's Darren Sizemore running over there for the time being. We did not see the crash from our standpoint. It was roughly 3/4 of a lap behind the leaders. We were watching the leaders fight hard to cut through the intersection, and then this happened. As we stand at red after 5 laps completed, the announcer did not see the circumstance.